Hi, I'm back and I'm here to upload some more progress on the game. It's been a good minute since I uploaded a video based on this. I just wanted to upload this video to focus on one thing at a time, really, because in my other videos I think I was doing like sections and stuff. I'll just focus on one thing at a time so I can actively get more feedback and not have to edit as much to keep this thing going. So today's topic is going to be focused on, so in my last video I had everything completely combined together like this. Everything was in the office costume, all the elements and stuff, like this desk, the little monitor here, all that was in the same costume. Now with some further speculation on the game, I just didn't like the way the office looked. It still seemed stiff and 2D and didn't give a, I mean, it was smooth, but I mean, it could be better is what I'm trying to say. So I came up with a idea. A lot of people have done this already. It's nothing new, but basically I just took everything and completely separated it from the costume and made it its own sprite. So with this technique I've bestowed upon you fine people, it basically just adds a layer system where the desk obviously is like the foreground, the office would be the middle ground and stuff like that, and then this new addition would be the background. So this is the outside of the office. In that little window area over there, you can kind of see out there. It's not going to be too bright because I just didn't want it to be that bright, but yeah, that's my office is basically complete. I just need to add more effects and elements and stuff. That, as well as the light, is also part of what I'd say the middle ground, and everything, it moves on its own, as you saw. So it kind of has its own little delay in a way to make it seem like everything's moving independently based on perspective, and it looks sick. But yeah, I really like the way this turned out, and I will be showing you guys how I did it, as well as adding new elements to the office. I believe I had already done something like this, but basically how I did this at first, everything started out in this layer, right? So basically we're going to be starting off with that again. I'm going to do the button thing again and make a button. So this is going to be the button to the door, actually make it look like a button this time. And I'll use this in real time to show you guys how to make a working door as well, since that is a part of the office. You'll want to start out designing everything in the actual office sprite so you know where things want to be laid out. But as you can see, the office button is sitting right there where I want it. So we're going to go back in and mess around. We're going to select all this, basically take it into its own sprite. Oh, I was pressing control, and then basically add a new costume. I do this personally, you don't have to do this, but I do this to do the designing of the button. So this is the door button. We're gonna make a new costume or a new sprite and basically drag this costume into that sprite, and you should see it pop up on the door. What you'll want to do is, since the office is scaled upward, you'll want to set it to, what's the office size, 140. You'll want to set that to 140, just like the office. For the basically every sprite you have, you'll want it to be scaled up to about the same size as the office, or you can just size it to whatever you want and leave it at that. So you want to center this to 0, 0, since we don't really have to worry about positioning. All right, now let's drag these over into the button sprite, and now you'll see that we have all that over here, and the button sprite will basically go to where it's supposed to be. Now let me first change the office back to, there we go. As you can see, it's not exactly following the background. It's kind of moving with the computer, which is not what we want. So basically it's in the foreground right now. We don't want this like that at all. So to add a delay or add a gliding effect to the background, basically you want to go into my Office script and look for this. I will personally put this script into the project where I put the rest of the scripts for the Office and stuff like that, so you guys can use that for your own project. You'll take this and replace this normie script, which only works for the foreground, and plug that into this one. So now instead it follows the way the background moves. But now you're probably wondering, well, how do I, well, if you guys are not new to Scratch and know what the fuck you're doing, then you're not wondering this at all. But for those who are new to the platform, all you'll have to do is just go in and send whatever's in the front to the front layer, and then boom, that's it. Now you see the button going off screen. That is one of the main problems, and we've talked about this before, because that was happening with the door and the button the last time that I was doing. And I told you I do not like having borders on my screen because that just makes the stage look smaller. So I actually found a workaround with this. Basically all you do is you'll take your pen, right, any color you want, you'll go all the way off screen somewhere and then just click. Now when you go off screen, the button will go off screen with everything else. I just messed around for a little bit, test some stuff. I saw some comments telling me that you could put a giant invisible border around it, and I was like, yeah, but that's messy. I'd rather just one dot somewhere. So I tried it and boom, it worked. So just put a little dot somewhere on something that's running off screen for you, and it'll go off screen on its own, since the sprite is way bigger than it's showing right here. So yeah, we've got a button now sitting up in the corner. Yeah, as you can see, it's just in the background moving with the back. Now we'll duplicate this and basically add a different color, which is, I'm gonna choose the red color for the button. We're gonna duplicate that, complete this costume. Since the door button costumes are complete, we will now focus on actually getting the door to close with that button. If you guys like using buttons instead of keybinds, I don't use buttons, I use keybinds, and it just works for my style of game. But this is how the door works. Basically we have the A key and the door equals N. I use N's and Y's. You guys probably use 1s and 0s, but N and Y's just make it a lot easier for me to it's just convenient, at least for me. I don't know, it's just something I've done all for years. Basically you press A and it'll check if the door is closed or actually open, and then it'll initiate the animation to go from open to shut, and then it'll set door shut variable to Y, which means that the door is shut. And you could use this variable to add extra checks for the animatronics. Like if they were to show up, you could have like a timer that says check for if the door is shut or open at this amount of time, and if it is, then go away. If it isn't, then yeah. So we'll test it out. All you do is press A on the keyboard and it'll run through the animation and keep the door shut. And it's really cool to see the script operate through the animations and stuff. Cooked up a script for the button that makes it work with the door script. It's slightly modified door script that does use broadcast, but it is the most efficient way, I believe, at least. Let me clean up this real fast. So as you can see, this script basically does everything on its own, while this script requires a broadcast to even work, but it does not loop forever. So basically how it works is the button will be doing all the signaling. So the button, in a similar way, if the mouse pointer is touching and the mouse is set down, then it will initiate this door shut sequence. So if the door shut equals no, then it will set it to Y and broadcast a signal. If it's at the end, then it will shut the door and do the same thing over and over again. It's like a seamless loop, and you can see that while doing this. And I've left a note in the script where you have to basically add in the sounds yourself. So anywhere you feel like the sound should play in the animation is where you'd put the sound in each of these scripts. That's all you have to do to get the doors working, either keybind or button. We have the button working, it's sitting in the right spot, it's panning with the office, the door isn't going off screen, the button isn't going off screen, all that stuff just works out. We did some positioning for the button, we did designs for the button. You can even add animations to the button in this little script right here if you really wanted to. It's just up to you what you want to do. Every script I just worked on in this video will be available in the script project that I had released during the other video. And yeah, that's basically all for the button. Alright, now that I got my door back to normal, we'll go on to the next step. It's pretty easy, like the very background element of the office. All you have to do is just mess around with the positioning here of the sprite, just like we did with the button, but instead of sending it to the everything to the front, it'll just send this all the way to the back layer to then get that very back of the office. If you don't have anything like this, like if you're not gonna have the player able to see outside of the doors, like if you have a flashlight that you can look out into the hallway of the door, anything like that, then I wouldn't mess with this part. Those Knights at Chisters too, you can see out in the vents and into the hallway where some of the animatronics would walk in from, and I'm probably not going to have that in this game. So this will be my only background element, which is the window, and then you'll be able to see the animatronic kind of walk in from right there. That's about it on office elements. I mean, anything else you really have to do, you just follow the steps that I did with the button, except for instead of it being a button, it'd probably be something that's in the background of the hallway. And if you guys need a recap on what I did to get to that point, you just work on everything in the office sprite first, like the doors and stuff like that, and then you copy that item over to its own sprite, add the positioning, and then go from there. You see how it works, or see how it looks at first, so you're not playing the guessing game when you're making all the sprites and stuff. And then you'll just copy it over and position it with the script, and then add functionality to it. If it's like a door, then do what we did with the door. If it's a button, do what we did with the button. If it's a camera system that you can click on, add your own animations into it to make it into one. It's so much you can launch from with this system. So yeah, that's about all for this video. I don't really have anything else to explain besides maybe next video I'll go over who this character is and show you guys what I've been cooking to even get to this point of design. As you can see, this character's completely just, you can move him in any way you really want. I mean, I went deep into the design here. I was going crazy. This is going to be one of the animatronics. This is the only animatronic I will show you guys. The rest are going to be complete mysteries, and I probably won't even show them, because this game is going to be something crazy. You guys are going to love it. But this will be the only animatronic I go over, and how I made it. I do have a time lapse already pre-recorded for when I did make him, but first I want to go over the design and how I even made it to this point of throwing it into the editor and getting all this detail going and stuff. So that'll be the next video. If you guys want to see anything else or have any other questions about The Office, we can do like a question corner where I answer your guys' questions on parts of the game or anything like that. basically just let me know what you want to see, and I'll probably get it all set up and make a video on it. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys have any other questions about doors, stuff like that, I can just answer them in the comments. If you have like a different type of door that you're working on, like you have a door that closes like side to side, it's really simple. It's all within the animations. So the door is not like ran on an X position or anything. It's just an animation. So if you want the door to close from side to side, just animate it to do that, and then boom. If you want it to be like a Walmart sliding door, boom. If you want it to be like the Krusty Krab doors, then boom, just open door, draw animation for open door. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys. Bye.